for all my life. They say I'm a failure, end up in jail, I ain't proving right. My mama, she told me before, son, you get I understood, but I ain't see the vision. A nigga kept going, and now I'm winning. Some people I put my trust in, try to fuck with my image. Oh no, you didn't. Some say you forgive, but don't forget it. Now you know how we do. Lock that back door, don't let no one through. I told Michi in these streets ain't no rules. He say, cause all this life we ain't put on with this. Yeah. And I understand that this shit wasn't easy, but nigga, we did it. Yeah. And all them hoes and all them niggas that wasn't fucking with us, now we them niggas. And now we rich now. We got money. I don't give a shit, no. And we did it. Young nigga come up for nothing, now he getting to them riches. And it's the life of a young rich nigga.
Yeah, I ain't playing with your ass. Nigga, I ain't playing with your ass. You chasing greatness. You got greatness talking to you. Become great.
Yo, what's going on out there? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boys, the Rize Podcast, with your boy Coach Squeeze, right back at y'all with another one. How y'all doing today? Guess what day it is? Hump Day. Hope everybody been safe. Had a blessed day, man. Watch your surroundings. The system definitely ain't protecting us. So we gotta make sure we on our P's and Q's. And stay prayed up. All right, y'all. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And y'all know how we do over here. Let me get the sponsors out of the way so we can get this party started. 5-time world champ, 4 different weight classes, first ballot Hall of Famer, Baltimore's own GTD Promotions, redesigning minds one mind at a time. We know a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Shout out to www.kenichibad.com. Use code TRP. You'll get 15% off. Get your Hibernation 5s. Also, shout out to www.noshlipgallery.org. Go over to Damari's page. Use the code RIZE10. You'll get 10% off. And hear artists in and out of the ring. Future world champion. R.I.P. to John Boy. R.I.P. to Miss Tanya Vandross. And R.I.P. John Boy. And shout out to www.miakillerb.com. Go over to her page. Support her merch. She got shirts and she got some more gear coming for y'all. And she just had her another devastating knockout under her notch. Tough opponent. Shout out the EOE, Education Over Everything. Bad Girls Promotions. Four Corners Boxing featuring Maurice and Jenny Jones. Go over there to 15 rounds of boxing every Wednesday night and check those guys out. They doing their thing. Also, shout out to Just Do Boxing, Hardcore Boxing News, Aunt McQueen, B&B Boxing News. Don't forget to go down to 1901 Pennsylvania Avenue. Get your Sherry's Essentials 12 rolls for $7. Also, shout out to Under Armour. Thanks for all that you do for the kids at the gym. Pro Soul Boxing Gear. Ayo Clothing Line. Richie Baby for the fire intro. Richie Threads for the clothing line. Man, thanks for all the sponsors that support us. Miss Mona, rest in peace to Miss Tanya Vandross. Last but not least, the official gear of boxing. All the fighters wearing it. and man senior wearing it. We gonna be styling this winter. Y'all can say it with me in the chat on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Box raw. All right, y'all. Y'all already know. And I just like to thank everybody, man, who sent prayers out for me, my daughter, her brother, for our loss, his funeral tomorrow. So I want y'all to keep me in y'all prayers tonight and give me strength so I could go close this chapter and start the healing process that needs to be done. So thanks for all the prayers and the love and support. All right, y'all. Y'all already know who he is. We about to go to church, and future world champion dad, the current world champion, one of the youngest champions in boxing today, on the rise. Lot he don't play boxing. One of the hardest workers in business in the game. I've been watching this kid for the last 6 years, and the more I see of him, the more I see his maturation period growing and learning the sport. But the man behind the madness, the architect himself, the preacher, the pastor himself, Mr. Bernard Hankey.
Man, I told you, don't nobody do it better than you, man. Nobody do it better than you, man. You the best at it.
I was a little under the weather last time. I told him you gotta hold it down because I was like jacked up a little bit.
Man, you sounding better. Prayers go out to you and your family. Want to definitely start with that. We all experience loss, and want to definitely let you know that the prayers are with you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. Yup. How you feeling today?
Man, I feel great, man. Blessed. I was blessed to wake up this morning. I had a great day. Doing my evening thing, sitting here with my grandma, having a conversation with her, and coming on with the Rize family. So you can't have a better day than that, man.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. I miss my grandma for real, yo.
Man, it's a blessing to have them. So everybody that got them, please appreciate them.
Yeah, man. They can't even do that right. You know what I mean? They can't
Yeah.
even do that right. Yeah, playing around with life. You know what I mean? I don't get it with these people, man. Everybody want to be tough, Mr. Bernard, and talk gangster. But I notice they keyboard gangsters. But when you see them, they don't have the same energy. And when they get behind them bars, I just seen some of the toughest so proclaimed dudes get smacked around.
Yeah, hey, that's the way it go, man. It's hard to be tough 24/7, but when you try to act like you tough for 7.5, 13, then it get kind of rough, man. You got to be the tough guy when it come to respecting others, treating others how you want to be treated. Those tough guys, it's not the guy that you want to act tough. He just trying to keep it up because he's scared.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man. They running them up out here, man.
Yeah, and
They
it's
running
same.
them up. Incident last week. They got it. Everybody got cameras. They got the man 66-year-old man walking to his car. They stomped him in the head, put him to sleep, went in his pocket, robbed him right on broad daylight. And they talking about what they gonna do. All two out of the three, two of them came right home to their parents. And two of them had an ankle bracelet on their leg, so they can't even talk to them or charge them until their parents around. But see, the thing is, they don't know their mother or father until they throwing them numbers at them.
Yeah. Then they remember everybody. I'm
They
turning
get,
my life around. I'm
Mr.
a
Bernard, you
champion.
echoing. That's not me echoing. You might gotta go out and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't me echoing. That's Mr. Bernard. I don't know if he placing his phone or whatever. But how y'all doing in the chat, man? God bless each and every one of y'all and praying for y'all safety. Yeah, praying for y'all safety.
Man, is that better, brother?
Yeah, because somebody in the comments, I heard it too, but they mentioned it. Is Gervonta Tank Davis an elite fighter, and is Tank a Hall of Fame fighter? Which one you want to take first?
Is he an elite fighter? Yes, he's an elite fighter. If you just look at what he's done over his career, uh, if you look at the way he's done it in his career and the level of competition he's faced, if you look from the Pedraza going forward, these are all quality fighters, if not world champions. Some of them have been weight up, like he fought Barrios at 40. Some of them have been weight down. So he's taking on competition in three different weight classes on a consistent basis. So you can't say that he's not elite. And when some of the guys that he has beaten have gone on to be world champions, you can't say that he was cherry picking because they went on to be world champions. And in one case, Barrios went on to be world champion at welterweight after losing the Tank at 140.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely elite. When it comes to Hall of Fame, I would say he's a Hall of Famer. I would say he's a Hall of Famer now if he didn't fight anymore. Um, look at once again, I always look at every fighter from the time they reach the championship level to the time they retire, what they've done. If he retired right now, he's been dominant. He hasn't been good. He's been dominant at the championship level. He's given us some of the best knockouts that you could ask for, not from the lighter weights, but from any weight. And once again, I thought that Santa Cruz was a elite level fighter before he fought Tank. And look what Tank did to Santa Cruz. I dare to ask people if they rated Santa Cruz prior to the Tank fight, was he not one of the top 15 or 20 fighters in the world? And he got knocked out. Pedraza, at the time Tank fought him, Pedraza was the man. He was the man. And Tank went in and knocked him out. So when you look at these guys, don't give me the back end of a guy. Give me from the time that they fought the guy that you're saying is not that good, and then base and rate them. Nobody knew who Pitbull Cruz was. Pitbull Cruz made a great showing of himself in the fight against Tank, and he went on to become, if I'm not mistaken, a two-time world champion. So you
Yeah.
can't say that these guys are cherry picks or they're easy fights, because he's picking guys that were either champions or went on to become champions. And if I'm correct, uh, Pitbull went on to be champion at 140, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
grabbed the belt.
yeah. So I don't see where they do that. I think it's very disrespectful to fighters in their careers at the championship level to call any of them a cherry pick opponent when they are either former or current world champions and they're going in there to fight.
But let me get this out of the way, and I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions that's pondering in my mind. Let me get this out of the way. Smoothie King, right back at you with another one. Tawu Aqua Kabutu became a YouTube member. Congratulations, champ. And Smoothie King, right back at you with another one. Tawu Aqua Kabutu, been a member for 10 months. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. This is what I wanted to ask you, Mr. Bernard. A lot of people, I hear this over and over again. I'm almost beginning to think just people just coming out their mouth with anything with no receipts to back it up. All I heard people say, oh man, he ain't fought nobody but a bunch of cab drivers. And I heard everybody debate that about almost every fighter you talk about. I even heard people say Mike Tyson was fighting a bunch of cab drivers. Ridiculous. So I don't know if it's the casuals, the groupies out there, but for the real people that know boxing and know what to say, what a real opponent is. If I'm fighting a guy and I'm in the ring with him, there's got to be a lot of people who ain't never been hit in the face. And I'm fighting him. He coming back at me. He's strong. He may not be as skilled as me, but let me mess up. And he catch me with something wild come across the top of my dome that I don't see coming. So I guess we gonna say I lost to a cab driver. Y'all gotta stop with that, man. If you put on gloves, Coach Calvin tell you all the time, you can't take no opponent weak. So, Mr. Bernard, how you feel about that? What are they basing that off?
When you think about it, a lot of the stuff that people say is based on being a fan of someone else. And that's quite all right. The fan is a shortened version for what the word is fanatic. A fanatic has already made their mind up before they even had the conversation with you. So when you're having this conversation, you're having it with somebody who's not open to any fact. They've already come to their conclusion. So that you will never change. But if you have somebody using common sense, they will realize when you get to a certain level of this sport, there are no cab drivers. When you get these guys that are in the top 10, top 15, top 20, they did something to get there. They did something to get there. Whether it was past fights and we've had guys that retire and come back. If it's fights that they've recently had that was over a top guy and that moved them in, they've done something to be there. They are not there just because somebody likes them. They had to fight and beat somebody. This is a sport that likes you when you're winning. And so they didn't get there by accident. I don't like when they put that narrative out there. I don't like it. I just was talking to another podcast host, and he was saying that, the Lamont Roach fight isn't a good fight. Tank didn't pick a guy that's not qualified. Lamont Roach is a very quality fighter. Lamont Roach is a world champion. Lamont Roach has one loss to a former world champion. When you do that, you got to make sure that you give these guys the respect that they deserve. That's what you got to do. Whether you like them or dislike them, you got to get the respect that they deserve because they put the work in to deserve it. You cannot be a fan of somebody. I won't say I'm the biggest Devin Haney fan, but if you ask me, does he have a Hall of Fame career right now? I'm gonna tell you yes. You can't take away an accolade if you're not a fan of somebody. What they did, they still achieved. That's the problem we have. People want to
Yeah,
remove your achievements because they don't like you. And that's just not how it goes. That's not how life goes.
got you. We got that echo again. Yeah, but I see I think a lot of people ain't taking in consideration. Tank ain't nothing but like 5'6" on a wet rainy day with marbles in his pocket. 5'6", 5'5" and 3/4 and 4/8 of a 16th. I don't know what they think. They think Tank can knock Jesus out. If he don't knock God out, he ain't the top dog in the sport. It's unrealistic expectations when it come to him. Now, for those out there that don't know no better, when I heard he was fighting Mario Barrios, I thought I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable, and I thought they was losing their minds. And me and Mr. Leon at the gym, director for Mr. Leon, been with boxing over 50, 60 years. We sit and chopped it up. I listened to a veteran, used to box when he was young. And he was like, I don't know about this one, Squeeze. He said, because at the time, Barrios was steamrolling. He was undefeated. He was in some wars with the cowboy, the white dude, the cowboy, some tough fights. And Virgil Hunter, a Hall of Fame coach, was in his corner. And Tank had to break this goddamn boy down. It took everything in Tank to get this boy was fine back. This boy was fine bullets back at Tank. And for y'all to say that was a cherry pick fight, you got it. If you would have put your ass in there with Barrios at that time at 140, and let's see how you would have fared. That was a dangerous damn fight. That took a lot of wear and tear on a person's body too. Coming from 126 to 140. But let them tell it, Tank the weight bully. But the night he fought Leo Santa Cruz, people that was at the fight say Leo was bigger than Tank. Y'all don't know what Leo walk around and look at Leo Santa Cruz in between his fights. His face be just as puffy and fat. So how is he cherry picking? All right, man, let me bring my brother in, man. I can go on and trying to educate these people. That's all I can do. The one, the only, making this awaited return to the Rize podcast. My brother from another mother, the wizard, the architect of boxing. You know who he is, man. Stop playing with me. Brother, Ant McQueen in the building.
Squeeze, what's going on? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling better than I did the other day, boy. Thank God I just kept putting the hot tea and lemon, honey, and I went straight on out of me, man. Plenty of rest too. I had to get that rest in, and like you say, I'm going to lay my son to rest tomorrow. So, I had to cram all of that together, but that's life. Life is just like we all fighters in our own right. So I guess y'all call me a cherry picker of life. So I get to choose and pick what happens to me, the unforeseen. We all are fighters, you guys. Every day you wake up and leave out your house. You know what I'm saying? When you make it back, everybody is an undisputed champion. When you turn that key back to your door and your family, you be able to greet your family, you're a world champion. So understand what y'all saying and just make 6 with y'all rebuttals. That's all. And McQueen, is Gervonta Tank Davis an elite fighter?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. And thank you for them words, Squeeze, man. Every now and again, we gotta hear those things. We gotta hear
Yeah,
those things.
it's only right that I do it.
I had a similar conversation with somebody recently, and I was saying that it's not always about having been in the ring yourself, but you gotta ask yourself the things that I want to do in my life. Am I willing to take a chance? These guys, these fighters, win, lose, or draw, at the very least, they're doing that. They're able to check that box off. I'm in here doing what I want to do, and I'm doing things on my terms. Because you got a lot of people out there who have these aspirations, been cooking their whole lives, but they scared to death to open a restaurant. You know, they've been writing their whole lives, but they scared to death to get their work published. So then they settle and do something else. But these guys and these ladies, they say to themselves, look, I got this dream. I want to be a fighter and I'm going for it. So at the very least, you just got to respect that part of it. And it's like, if you're not willing to do whatever it is that you want to do, how can you question somebody else for following through?
Mm.
So I just wanted to say, I appreciated what you said right there. You know,
Yeah,
those words, they resonate.
I just I'm a realist. I'm a realist in every sense of the word. I'm not living in a fantasy world. I treat myself special and live in reality of what life is, what it really means. And people, you don't think I'm shook up that my son, that happened to him? But guess what? It's going to be casualties of war along the way. It's either going to make you or break you. I got a lot of good memories from him in those 32, and he'll be 33 tomorrow. Tomorrow's his birthday. But I got a lot of good years with that young man. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to relish that. I'm not going to soak in the negative and pull myself down. That's just, it's a part of life that sucks. But it's like a soldier in the field when he get wounded. You pick him up and y'all keep going. You know. But I wanted to ask you on the second half of my question, brother Ed, because you know how we do, man. It's bigger than boxing. Then I got Mr. Bernard up in there. I'm going to drop a gem on him, bring him back in. Is Tank a Hall of Fame fighter now if he stopped fighting today? Let me ask you that.
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say, and here's why. I think that there are several things that get fighters into the Hall of Fame. Sometimes it's the accolades, the achievements, and I think that sometimes, especially in this day and age, it can be a tad bit convoluted. Like, it's complicated. I'll give you an example. Let's say one fighter is signed to this promotional entity and they have all of these other champions for this guy to fight. 9 times out of 10, they're going to make these in-house fights so they can hold on to these belts. They're not going to say, we're going to give somebody that we don't have control over the belts an opportunity at these belts. So that goes on a lot, man. We seen it at 135. They were damn near having a round robin at 135 a couple of years ago with Loma. Then Devin had to sign over there to get the fight with Cambosis and with Loma and so on and so forth, right? But I do respect the titles, the guys who win the titles. All these guys, man, they've been putting in the work. They deserve to be there. But on the other hand, here's the other thing about resume. you don't know who the hell you're fighting, like who they're gonna become. You might fight some guy who was smoking hot at one point, and then he kind of just tapers off. Then there might be another guy like Tevin Farmer. Love Tevin Farmer. You look at that guy at the beginning of his career, he had like 5 L's, something like that. Picked himself up, he became a champion. So if you're somebody like Jose Pedraza, you could say, damn, that Tevin Farmer win, it aged like fine wine. Because when we fought him, he was nothing crazy at the time, but look what he became. So, now the resume ages better over time. And that's what legacy ultimately is. It's something to be viewed in retrospect. You got to see how things unfold. Like right now, Tank is getting some criticism for the Lamont Roach fight. Who the hell knows what Lamont Roach becomes? Somebody just in the chat just said Mario Barrios is the current champ at 147, WBC champ. Who knows? He
Oh,
might go on to
damn.
make several. He might go on to make several title defenses. Then you'd be like, damn,
Damn.
that Tank win, it really aged well. And then you also look at some of the guys that Barrios has fought, and we can say up until this point, Tank is the only one who stopped him. And he's been in there with guys, legitimate 147 pounders. Keith Thurman, what's my guy's name? Dennis Ugas. And he more than held his own. So Tank was the only one to stop him. Little dude who started at 126. So he does have that distinction. So right now, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say because he doesn't have the accomplishments on his side. But I do feel like he's fought quality fighters. And the reason why I say that, Mr. Bernard, because I seen the face you made. The reason why I say that is because for most people, they would say, detractors would say he's only held the WBA, the regular, the WBA regular. Then after everything shook out at 150, at 135, he was elevated to super. But he also won the IBF off of Pedraza. But if you look at these other guys, notably like a guy like Devin Haney or guys that have been unified, but I still think he's got a good resume because, in my personal opinion, the resume isn't just about the accolades themselves. It's not just. That's why I say it's tricky. It's convoluted, man. You gotta look at everything, pick it up, turn it this way, turn it that way, look at it. When did he fight this guy? For example, the Pedraza win, he was ranked 8th at the time. How many of these guys right now that are ranked 8th do you feel could go up there and challenge one of the champions at 135 and be successful, or at 130 and be successful? A guy that's ranked 8th. So it's tricky. But I think he's got all-time talent. I'll say that. He's got all-time talent.
You ain't give me a definitive answer, but I'm going to come back to you. You did say you're not sure, but what I'm getting from you, you got one shoe in, one shoe out in your assessment of where you're at with that statement. Let me bring Mr. Bernard in because you say he looked at you a certain way when you said something. So I need the Mr. Bernard to clear up that look he gave you.
I can agree to a point with what he said, but when you look at the guys, take away belts, take the belts out of the equation, just look at the guys where they were when they fought Tank. Tank took a lot of O's from guys. And when you talk about guys who got O's because they fought cab drivers, trash cans, whatever you want to call them, we talk about guys that was at their height. We could say that Pedraza was at his height when Tank beat him. We could say that Leo Santa Cruz was at his height when Tank beat him. We can say that Mario Barrios was right before what I consider his height, but he was undefeated. And I say right before because he was a champion, but we took the belts out. But then he went up and claimed a belt at a weight class above from a guy who beat Manny Pacquiao, who gave Earl Spence a great fight. And when you look at those guys, Tank was beating all quality guys. If you look at his resume from Pedraza up, he still has a great resume. When you take belts out of the equations, he still has a great resume. What I don't like is that you made a point on, you made a distinction between the belts that he had when he had them. But when other people have them, we don't make a distinction. We just say they're a champion. I'll give you an example that I always use. When they say, I like Bibble. He had 2 belts. And I always ask people, he was a 2-belt champion? People say, yeah. I say, okay, so do we pick and choose when we recognize the IBO as a world title and when we don't recognize it? Depending on who has these belts, we want to look at them at a certain level. But when it's somebody, once again, I go back to the word fanatic. Shorten it up, it's a fan. A fan can make the case however they want it for whoever they want. But when you look at just the resume for what it is, if you erase the name that says whose resume it is and just look at it and knowing everybody on it, and you say, is this fighter unknown to you a Hall of Famer? And then when you say yes or no, they put the name up. A lot of those answers will be different because it's based on just the career, not who they are. You can't tell me you're going to hold me to one standard, but you're going to hold somebody else to another standard. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Devin Haney fan, but if you ask me, is he a Hall of Famer? Yes, because when you go through the books and you say how many undisputed champions are not Hall of Famers, I'll say very few because I can't definitely say 100%. But I'll say this: if I'm leaning towards it, you won't find too many undisputed champions who also made defenses not a Hall of Famer, because the fact that you became undisputed was a goal within itself. I
All
just
right.
think we
That's
pick
why I
and choose.
prefaced it by saying that, but that's why I
Let me
prefaced
bring
it by saying that's what detractors would say. Not
No.
me.
I wasn't saying you. I was saying you because you didn't give us a definitive yes or no on Tank, not for the other parts. To me, he's a definitive Hall of Famer based on level of competition, based on he's won multiple titles,
let me
based
let me
on
bring let me bring all access in. He waiting patiently in the rafters. All right, y'all. The architect behind the Rise podcast. We looking for those million views coming up soon. He been dissecting the intros in and out, collaborating with some of the masterminds of the sport. The one, the only, my thorn in my side, my partner in crime, and keep his family in prayers that everybody is all right. Mr. All Access in the building.
What's going on? What's going on, chat? Mr. Bernard, what's going on? At McQueen, what's happening? How y'all feeling today?
good, bro.
I'm all right. Sipping.
I'm just going to dive off the diving board, All Access. I'm going to mute my mic and you
Oh,
take it away.
I don't want to take it away. I'm just coming in and joining in on the conversation, man.
I'm going to take
I'm
take
not
it
taking it
away.
away. I'm just jumping in.
And
I'm just here.
is Tank a Hall of Fame fighter? I'm on pause.
You ain't asked me the first question first.
Because I'm going to throw that one at you.
But everybody else got the first question first.
Oh, man, you going to come in and you say you going to come in and blend in. I told Mr. Bernard coming in which one he wanted first. So I'm giving you the option. But
you ain't give me no option. You came straight at me with that one.
Yeah, because I knew you was ready for it. We had a prep meal before it hit out on the dining room floor.
I don't want to run down the hill and get one. I want to walk down and get them all.
Go get them all, then.
I got time.
Go get them all.
I believe he's an elite fighter. I believe he's an elite fighter, and
I ain't asked you that.
I believe he's an elite fighter, and I also believe he's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, there you go. How you feel about that one, Aunt McQueen?
Oh, you already know how I feel about that. I think he's elite for sure, for sure. I mean, check all the boxes. Checks all the boxes. Got speed, got patience, got power, get you coming forward, get you going backwards, got good defense. It's like nothing he can't do. Fight on the inside, outside. He's elite.
Yeah, but I think that like I don't know if people really know what puts you in the Hall of Fame and that it's a committee that induct you in the Hall of Fame. So we don't know, as the people has spoken, but we don't know what really they looking at to inaugurate these guys into the Boxing Hall of Fame. Because I could go out on a limb and I got to do the research. I bet you is guys in the Boxing Hall of Fame that probably never won a title. And their name, but you'll look at their accolades, the people they fought, but it's reasons why they picked them. So I'm looking at some of the greats in football ain't make it into the Football Hall of Fame. And we like, is you lost your mind? So we don't know what these guys really looking at. But from the people standpoint, if it was up to them, it'd be a whole lot of people in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Mr. Bernard, take it away.
I'm gonna tell you one reason why we can all agree he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. You've never seen one fighter who had a financial impact on the sport of boxing in a major plus way not in the Hall of Fame. So if we just look at that one criteria, Tank's already in.
What do you got? What do you got? 93% knockout ratio.
His knockout ratio is somewhere around there, maybe a little higher, but
I think
his ticket sale ratio makes it where everybody who's ever owned a building, promoted a fight, or been associated with a car of his made more money that night than they've made on any other night. He's had a financial impact to the sport. Floyd, Muhammad Ali, Canelo Alvarez, those are financial impactors to the sport. If you ask somebody to go into the Hall of Fame of businessmen, what's the first criteria they're going to ask you? How did he impact the business and the industry that he's in? These are all businessmen, independent. How did they affect the criteria of the financial industry that they're in? And Tank has made a major impact to the financial industry that he's in.
And then, but you also got to look at it. When has 135 really been, you know what I mean? It normally was the heavyweights bringing all this type of hoopla and stuff to the ring. At 135, you know what I mean? You got Madonna coming to your fights.
That's that financial impact, brother. That's that financial impact changes the way people view stuff. That's just, it's always been a fact. Your favorite musician made music way before he became the Michael Jackson or the Prince. They've been made music, but once they hit that impact point, it changes the way people view you.
And then also great ring generalship, excellent showmanship. You know what I mean? He's must see. You know what I mean? And he gives you a hell of a performance. And he shows you something different from his bag of tricks. Every fight, you see something different. Now, when you see it all put together like Coach Calvin wants you to see, it's gonna be undeniable. Can he add a few more names to the roster to solidify his spot? Sure. But them guys also
most of the time when we talk about the other guys that people want to see him fight, they never say that they want to see him fight because those guys have the potential to beat him. They say they deserve the fight. They never speak on it as it's 50-50. We don't. No, they always say they deserve the fight. They deserve it. Right. And that's why I always call it that when we talk. Are you giving them the fight because they have a chance to beat him? Or are you giving them a fight because what they've done over their entire career? Those are, if you're telling me you don't think they can win, but they deserve the fight, then you're telling me you're giving them a lifetime achievement award. After see it, I wasn't big on Devin being able to beat Tank ever at any point. But if you look at it now and you still have people screaming Devin deserves a shot, Devin just got stopped by Ryan. I don't care what they want to call it, Osterrain or whatever you want. Osterrain did not make Devin keep getting hit with the same left hook. Osterrain didn't put him on his butt. And once again, this is a guy that Tank stopped. Tank stopped him. So if you're still screaming Devin, you're a fanatic. That's all. You're just a fanatic, and you think he deserves a lifetime achievement opportunity, but not he deserves it because he can win, or you think he can win.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've learned as I'm getting to know boxing, and it's not just with Tank, but you can't please everybody. No matter how you slice you, because he don't fight black fighters. He giving you Frank Martin and Lamont Roach back to back. Oh, Lamont Roach ain't nobody, but he's a black fighter, and you said he don't fight black fighters. Oh, well, he don't fight this person. He went up to 140, fought Mario Barrios, a dude that was bigger than him, was on stand knocking shit out. You know what I mean? Mario Barrios was getting the job done. Oh, that wasn't nothing, it was just Mario Barrios. Leo Santa Cruz, Hall of Famer right now, came up to 135, fought Tank. Oh, that ain't no good. That was just, man, you're not gonna please nobody. But one thing I can say, every mission that they put him on, he went out and completed it flawlessly.
Yeah, I don't see how you don't consider Tank a Hall of Famer. Now I thought that was a easy no brainer. I definitely think that he's one of the top fighters currently. He's one of the top fighters that I would have to say of all time, just based on, once again, what he's doing with the disadvantages he has. Most people say, oh, the short guy has to do this. Tank has outboxed taller guys. It definitely hit him with some great shots that have finished fights. He's given us everything you could possibly want. And if you look at it, if you put him up to 147, you would probably have to give him 50-50 on those guys because you won't find a betting odds that'll put him as a complete underdog. And it's a guy who's not a welterweight. So, I mean, I just find it hard to discredit any fighter, not just Tank. Any of these guys who are doing something at the top level, I could never say that a champion or a guy who's an elite level fighter without a title, that he's a cherry pick or something like that for anybody. I think you and I were talking, and I said the minute that Brian Norman became a champion, then at that point he was one of the best four in the division. And people, oh, he can't be. Yes, he is, because everybody's trying to get one of those four belts. And if he's a holder of one, he's one of the best four in the division.
So let me ask you this, Mr. And what can you do as a fighter if no, let me take that back. Most of the time people go after their belts to get better fights or more money. Am I correct?
That's the object, yes.
So what do you do? Like, is it your fault if you become bigger than a belt as a fighter?
No, it's not your fault. I mean, you become mythical at that point.
But I think people hold like in Tank's position, like, what do you want him to do? You said he gave you pride. The plan was to come back and give you Loma. Loma said, nah, I want them troubles. And a couple of other fighters also.
Man, you got to do what you can do with your career the way you see fit. You will always have Monday morning quarterbacks. You've never seen a Monday morning quarterback lose a game. But the vast majority of people who discredit any athlete in any sport are people who normally didn't achieve anything in any sport. If they had a Hall of Fame for underachievers, most of the people who try to downplay other athletes, they would definitely be in that Hall of Fame. That Hall of Fame of underachievers would always have a spot open because those are the people who normally want to criticize somebody who has achieved something. It's not other people who do what you do. Other people who do what you do who know how hard it is to get there. They praise you for getting it.
What you got to say about that, Ant? I don't know why it's echoing.
Similar thoughts to what you expressed a couple minutes ago. Detractors, yo, they always gonna move the goalposts. Let's say anybody, they go out there and they fight the guys who they say they want to see them fight. They do what they do with them. They handle them fairly easy, dispatching, what have you. Then it'll be like, well, you didn't fight him though. It's always gonna be the next person. That's what it is. It's always gonna be the next one. You beat this guy, then there's always going to be the next guy for you to beat, or you didn't do this, or there's going to be some sort of asterisk next to it. The thing that kills me is the whole weight clause thing, as if both guys don't have to adhere to the weight clause. Like it's just this one-sided thing. This guy, he doesn't have to adhere to it, but the other guy, he has to. It's like, nah, they both have to. The rules are the rules. They apply to both guys. And then the other thing too, like Mr. Bernard said, man, you got one guy that's coming in with a significant disadvantage off the rip. He's coming in barely scraping 5'5", far shorter reach. But then you also want him to spot the other guy 30 pounds too.
See, like
it's crazy.
When it comes to that weight clause, I just think like the more I pay attention.
Look, Tyrone Fisher just said it in the chat. Seeing right when I said it. If Stink weight clause Davis. See what I'm saying?
Listen,
you can't win. It is what it is. The detractors are always going to have something to say.
The like even when you go to the Pedraza fight, right? Let's start at the Pedraza fight. You heard Coach Calvin say it before. The Pedraza fight was a setup fight. It wasn't supposed to have that outcome. And he went there and demolished Pedraza. Laughing, playing, smiling. You know what I mean? Toying with Pedraza. But when you go into some of these other fights, like a Mario Barrios, 140, probably walk around 170. You should have some type of precautions in there. You know what I mean? Would you let your son fight a grown man? No. Mr. Bernard, I'm sure you wouldn't. You know what I mean? 50-pound difference where they can make a 30, 40, 50-pound difference. Some of these hot fighters hydrate up to 30, 35 pounds, shit like that, man. You know what I mean? If they come to 135, you don't got to worry about no weight clause. But when you
right now, Tank running the board. Whatever he chooses to do, just like I said about Canelo, that's their choice to do. They had to work to get to the point where they can run the board. If you can dethrone them, then you can run the board. But if you can't dethrone them, it is what it is. But I mean, once again, that's what they say: heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of being great, is taking on all of the headache that come with it.
Then they get mad with how he deal with it. Oh, Tank don't talk to nobody. He don't do this. He don't do that. Like once again, you can't please him no matter how you do it.
I always go back to Ray Leonard and Duran too. The first fight, Ray Leonard tried to prove something to people. The second fight, he was only concerned about Ray Leonard. And after that, Ray was concerned about Ray. I always say, with this boxing, it can only be a girlfriend because it'll never love you like.
Go ahead, Squeeze.
Yeah, being as though being around the sport over, I say 35 years, watching boxing on Wide World of Sports, ABC, when Ali, Larry Holmes, the Roberto Durans, the Parnell Sweet Pea Whitakers, the Jerry Coonies, the Spinks brothers, the Mike Tysons, the Evander Holyfields. Watching that mixture of different skills, different wills, where do I see Tank when it's all said and done amongst those guys? Right now, I could say a knockout artist, a boxer, flamboyant, but gracious in victory. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't see. So you're saying because he don't got Shakira on his resume, Run Baby Run on his resume, he don't got Davina Haney on his resume, he don't got Takesha Femo Lopez on his resume. So I named those 3 young ladies that y'all say he's not for, and you say that those 3 fighting them gonna get them in the Boxing Hall of Fame? You don't know. In the words of Roger Mayweather, you don't know shit about boxing. Because the first thing you look back when you go into the Boxing Hall of Fame, they got videos of the fighters. And you're not going to get bored standing there watching his footage on the screen. Some of the most vicious, devastating knockouts that you will ever see in your life. So I'm with you guys when it comes with, really, I'm getting to the point, I don't even want to see him fight T.O. I don't even want to see him. I'm not even excited about him fighting no Devin Haney. What at a catch weight, he'll be super drained for real. He walk around under 190. But the only thing still getting me excited, I would love to see him beat the hell out of Shakira. That's the only name. I don't know who else out there right now. Now he could ready fight Lamont Roach, got a rated champion. But what y'all doing? Y'all throwing dirt on Lamont Roach name. You don't even know nothing about him. So, hey man, just make sense in your rebuttal. So I say Haney gonna make it just off his accolades. But all when you go watch his screen when they have his bronze statue in the Hall of Fame and you're watching the video, you press play, the kids, you turn around, they done left. They like, I don't want to see that, daddy, because there ain't nothing to see. But you can't take away from his accolades. His accolades going to get him on in there. But Tank performances, what's going to get him in there? Aunt McQueen, how you feel about that?
Oh, you said it perfectly, man. You said it perfectly. The performances. You got some guys in there that I'm just thinking about off the top of my head because of their performances. You know what I mean? The guts and the glory. Timothy Bradley was, come on, man. Them fights that he had with like Provodnikov. His action packed. Arturo Gatti, another one. He in the Hall of Fame. Action packed. So you make a good point.
I try to break it down like my son when he was a baby, a newborn, and they give him baby food. You know, we had to mush it up so he could digest it properly. So what I'm hearing from the people that don't know no better, then they want to mention Spawn. Oh, he got beat up in Spawn. Okay, have at it. But I could guarantee you this. Come see him live. under the lights when it matters and when it counts. See what kind of results you get. See what kind of results you get. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know what all these other guys out there fighting for, but I know what this kid fighting for. Tank keeps a chip on his shoulder. He has since he was a little kid because he was littler than everybody. You're not going to do this kid no any kind of way. He's an animal, y'all. He's a pit, a red-nosed pit. You can't let him run around the street. Somebody gonna get bit. And better yet, you 4 corners in the ring with him. I ain't even really caring really about the knockouts. If they come, they come. But you're going to get a hell of a performance from this guy every time he step in the ring. Mr. Bernard, take it away.
Man, I think you hit everything on the head. I think you hit it all on the head. Like I said, I think he's dealing with being a superstar and the pressures that come with it. I think he's dealing with it very well. He still gives you the same performance. He doesn't play it safe. He doesn't play it safe. He looks to give you the oohs and ahs. And a lot of times you get guys that get to a certain point, especially when they become world champions, they tend to play it safe. Let me get to the 12th round. I know I did enough to keep my belt, and they win. That's just a fact of life. How they say in March Madness, just win and move on. He's very exciting. I think that he's changed the way people view the sport in a lot of ways, just like Floyd. He changed the way people viewed the sport in a lot of ways. Muhammad Ali, Canelo Alvarez. There's only a handful of people who actually captivated the sport the way that he has. And when there's that few people who have done it, then how can you not say that he's one of the greats? How many podcasts? I say podcasts because we have a lot of those compared to back in the day. We only had a few that talked about sports, like Wild World of Sports. But how many podcasters can go a week without mentioning Tank in some way, shape, or form whenever he has a fight that is possible to be announced? It's like Jay-Z said, man, they always want to say his name to get ads off of him, and now they call it clicks. He's the reason that some of these different podcasters even have something to talk about, because they don't give you the concept of boxing. They give you the drama of the sport. So if they don't have something that he's put in the headline, or something that Canelo put in the headline, or even Floyd, who they still keep him in the headline, then a lot of them wouldn't have much to talk about.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing in a nutshell. I try to keep it fair. It's pop. Mute your mic, Mr. Bernard, please. I try to keep it. Thanks, Mr. Bernard. I try to keep it fair. When somebody say Devin Haney to me, what's the first thing comes to your mind? The first thing comes to my mind from a person that been watching the greats over 35 years. How can I put them amongst the elite?
Hey, coach, you gotta put them amongst the elite. And like I said before, I'm not a Devin Haney fan per se, but you gotta put him amongst the elite because he did something that very few people do. He became undisputed. You can't take that from him.
Mr. Bernard, he can make it in the Hall of Fame. But when I talk elite, me personally, my definition of elite, not accolade, because I could have accolades. It's just like I'm a lottery player. I play the lottery. It's a gamble. And I know what's meant for me is meant for me. But I know it all got to do with luck and timing. So with him, with the accolades, he came along at the right time when he fought Kambosos 24 rounds. Never heard him once. I cannot put him in the elite box conversation as elite. Accolades wise, you can't. I mean, he can go in there on accolades, but when you mention elite to me, first thing gonna come out my mouth, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I can't put Devin Haney with him. Muhammad Ali. I can't put Devin Haney with him. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. I can't put Devin Haney with him. Canelo Alvarez. I can't put Devin Haney with him. On Mike Tyson. I can't put Devin Haney with him. Elite? No. Accolade?
What is the most elite thing any fighter can do in every division of boxing?
Mr. Bernard, we already got that clear. I say elite and accolades are two total separate things.
But in order to have elite status, you had to have the accolades. You can't take one, even if, once again, I'll say, even if you don't have a personal taste for a fighter, you can't discredit what they've done.
That don't
And
got nothing.
if he won and became undisputed, I can't take, just like I said, Brian Norman, the minute he put that belt around his waist, he was one of the 4 best welterweights in the world.
Mr. Bernard, let me knock out, let me beat Terrence, let me do Terrence Bud Crawford dirty, let me do Earl Spence dirty, and let me do Sean Porter dirty. That's some elite shit. And let me do Kambosos doo-doo. Let me beat Jojo Diaz doo-doo. Gamble when he was finished after everybody beat him doo-doo. I can't put him
Listen what I'm saying.
amongst the elite because he haven't done nothing elite.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. No fighter can control who's in their division. If you have a division that's void of any big names that you can fight, then you have to deal with what's in front of you. I don't think that he had that fight to get. I think if he could have beat Ryan was the first fight I think that would have given him a certain level of credit, but he lost to Ryan and Tank had already beat him. Once again, if I'm using my son, I'm not worried about if somebody's saying they can't put him in the same realm as Boots, Earl Spence, Marvin Hagler. If we handle our business in the time frame that we can handle our business, then I'm happy if my son becomes a world champion, undisputed, because we can only control what we can control. That's the same thing I would say with Tank. Tank ain't worried about nobody else's opinion of him. He's worried about taking care of what he can take care of and what's in front of him.
Let me say this. I normally don't do this, but that's Michael Gardner. I gotta answer him because he come from me from time to time. Michael Gardner, stop it. Number one, you don't like Bud Crawford. Just say it. You're gonna mention, look what who Bud fought to get undisputed. Bud whipping asses, Michael. Michael Gardner, stop it. Stop it. I can't even believe you said that out your mouth. Keep my name out your Miles. I can't believe you said that, man. You mentioned Bud Crawford beat the boogeyman of the whole league.
You proved your point. That's enough, Squeeze. You proved your point.
Everybody
Don't bring Earl into it. Earl ain't
I
got
didn't
nothing to
call
do
no
with this.
names.
I'm
There you
saying,
go. Let me go check outside because I ain't calling no back. Hold on, y'all, because I hear the sirens. Hey, Mr. Bernard, there's 6 of them out there in the paddy way. Listen to what I'm telling you guys. Devin Haney. And y'all say, oh, he hate Devin. He a Tank fan. Okay, have at it. Take your shots. I was with Devin Haney when he fought Ryan Garcia. And what'd he do? What'd he do for me? Lost my little.
He is who we thought he was.
Didn't I have to pay you? Didn't I have to buy you? What up, Mama's place?
Yes, Lord.
What was it? What I
Good.
owe?
Hey,
Sound me. Hold on, Mr. Bernard, hold on. Talk this off about that. I haven't healed because I work for a living. I don't have money. What else was it? Was a salmon and rice or something?
No, I had a
crab cake.
I had a crab cake on that one.
Crab cake. And that thing was about almost $40.
It was good.
So I lost my goddamn $40 to elite fighter. Come on, man. I can guarantee you one thing. I never lost a Tank. Been eating good ever since. Salivating at the mouth. Brother Aunt McQueen, you could come on in, champ.
I had this what's the name tab up on the YouTube up on another tab. Chris Colbert on right now, man. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for him, man.
Oh, wait a minute. You say Chris what on you watching TV?
On Pro Box.
He fighting now?
Fighting right now.
Oh damn, Lord Beehive.
Yeah.
God damn, he felt like a cake in the oven. Ain't nobody talking about that fight.
It was supposed to happen last week. It got pushed back to this week.
Hey, Aunt McQueen, do he got boxing gloves on?
Listen, man.
I'm just checking, bro. I can't be everywhere all the goddamn time. I'm just checking. Stop it. Stop. You could have held your breath on that one, Aunt. And you my man like Peter Pan. No daddy. You know what I mean? You could have held your breath. You know what I mean? Waiting to exhale. No, man.
I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying about timing, though. I feel what you're saying about timing, though, Squeeze. I feel what you're saying.
Piss me off.
But here's the thing, though. I got to give Devin credit for this, though, Squeeze. I'm a Knicks fan. To this day, there are people who are still pained by the sight of Patrick Ewing missing that layup in the finals against the Rockets. To this day, I was a little kid when it happened. I still shed tears. I have nightmares about Patrick Ewing missing layups. Devin didn't miss the layup, yo. Kambosos was a layup, but he ain't missed the layup.
Go ahead, Sing.
I want to ask you a question, please. I'm over here a little perturbed and curious. Why did Devin piss you off when he fought Ryan Garcia?
Mr. Bernard still in the chat because I need him to hear this.
He right there, Mr. Bernard.
Okay, you got your mic on? You got your mic on. Aunt McQueen, you got your mic on? You in the studio. My main Apple Scrabble just asked me a damn question, and I'm about to ask it. Y'all ready? You are what you say you are, a superstar, no matter. Yo, I just was mad because I took up for Devin so much on this podcast and he let me down. When I said Devin, it can be an elite boxer if he picks it up. He's a game manager.
But
He's not. Go ahead, champ.
I just don't understand. Like, why did he let you down? Like,
Because I had to buy you a goddamn crab cake dinner.
but you know what I mean? He didn't let you down when he was fighting smaller fighters, older fighters. You know what I mean? When he finally got a young guy his size,
We all said that.
he was what I told you he was going to be. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was only going to be one punch that, you know what I mean? I didn't think it was just going to be a left hook that obliterated him. You know what I mean? But I told you, once Devin get matched up with somebody his age,
You said that.
you know what I mean, his size, he got a rude awakening. And
You said that.
exactly what it was. And Squeeze, might I add, that crab cake was good. Normally I put cocktail.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Just stay to the boxing, please.
Oh, my bad.
Stay to the line of script, because I'm still hurting like Aunt McQueen with that loss. I ain't rebound from the crab cake.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Because I was begging him to knock Cambosis out. And I like, you got him, you heard him. And he let up on, go ahead, champ. He let up off the gas pedal.
Why would you want him to do something that he can't do?
Yo, this is just a rumor, and you ain't heard on the Rize podcast, because we don't condone abuse. Word on the street, and I think we told y'all a couple of episodes back, Devin Haney was in the back doing mitts. And his little sister, 8-year-old sister, ran past him while he was doing the mitts, and he hit her. And she kept running like nothing happened. Don't ask me. Don't question me. You ain't heard it from me. This is what was told to me. He like, oh, excuse me. And he said his little sister was like, I thought you was playing. So, what do you want me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Elite? Now, if we saying, you think they gonna give me an elite status? I ain't fight senior undefeated, undisputed at his weight class. Mr. Bernard got 2 belts, Ant got a belt. But I ain't fought near one of them. But I got accolades. I'm elite. Bullshit. The only way they gonna say I'm elite if I get in there with Senior, beat him, get in there with Mr. Bernard, whip him, get in there with Aunt McQueen, whip him. Down they can say I'm elite. But let me duck all 3 of them guys and make it into the Hall of Shame. And when they say, yo, the boy can't crack an egg with a 50-pound weight in his hand and a remote control arm.
Well,
I
got one, Squeeze. I got one. I don't want to ask Mr. Bernard because I know Mr. Bernard gonna have a nice rebuttal. Let me ask Ant. What makes a boxer a good boxer?
He's able to do what he want to do to his opponent more often than he allows the opponent to be able to do what they want to do. Because I think it comes in various forms, man. I mean, you got some guys, if they can fight on the inside and they can keep the other guy from doing what he want to do, I think that's what it comes down to, man. That's what it comes down to.
Would you consider Devin Haney a good boxer?
Yeah, I think Devin Haney's a good boxer.
So, if you're a good boxer, you do what you want to do, make your opponent do what you want him to do, and you say a good boxer, but I seen him in a fight and he couldn't get away from one punch.
That's not entirely true.
I seen that one.
He ain't just get left hooked the entire night.
I seen that one punch land him down all across the ring. But you had training camps go from 8 to 12 weeks to prepare for that one punch that everybody know he's famous for. You know what I mean? You get caught with that in the first 30 seconds, I feel some type of way. Come on,
He
man. I
got
feel
time.
some
That
type of way.
happens.
I feel some type of
He shot his patented jab. He got time. It happens.
way. Come on.
It happens.
Come on, man.
And boxing is volatile like that, man. We talking about people punching each other in the head. Anything could change once you feel the sting, and then you get compromised. He got caught cold. He was shooting his jab. He got timed.
He talk
I'll
about
tell you
Ryan.
this: if you go and you rewatch that fight, Ryan Garcia was trying to catch him with the same setup, and for a lot of the times when he was trying to catch him with this same setup, touch, left hook, he was largely unsuccessful. But the times that he did touch him, he was able to rock him because the guy can punch. The guy can punch.
That's all I wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask that part.
But I say rounds 2 through 6.
I like
he did a good job getting away from that left hook. 8 through 10. But what they didn't prepare for, was that damn right hand. That was the thing that I found most perplexing.
That was the cherry on top.
You go look at his face after the damn fight. The whole left side of his face was swollen.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was the cherry
eating overhand rights.
That was the bonus.
And in the fight, that's when Bill was saying to him, hey, you got to be careful when you slip into your right because he's chopping down with the right hand. That's something that they definitely should have worked on ahead of time. You don't wait till like you get in the ring and you start seeing the guy eating overhand rights to tell him now you got to look out for the overhand right. But again, if you underestimate your opponent and you say that all they have is one punch at their disposal and you don't prepare for anything else, it's just, underestimation.
But I can tell you what I did see.
What's that?
I saw that punch eliminated in another fight where it wasn't even a factor.
Yeah, but I mean, they were prepared. And then here's the other thing too. Control. You know how Coach Calvin do with the what's name? Keep touching them. There was a lot of that lead hand control in there. Tank was out there in that long guard. He was able to fail Ryan's left hand. Kept touching him.
Go ahead, Squeeze.
Number one, if you know boxing, the blueprint was what happened to Devin. Number one, his foot placement wasn't on the outside of Ryan's lead foot. He was on the inside of it. That's why you saw Ryan kept making the adjustment. Ryan threw that left hook even when it didn't connect it because he knew it was going to connect because of Devin's foot placement. And what Devin did, Devin ain't fight the left hand. He tried to stay away from it, which gave the left hook enough momentum to pick up, and eventually when it did catch him, it finished him. It broke him down. So we talking X's and O's here. You're only going to get hit with those punches, guys, if you're out of position. And if you don't, when Tank was talking to him, he told him the whole time, you trash. All you got is a left hand, a left hook. That's all you got. And what did Tank do? Set him on his ass twice. Because Tank was cognate, and Calvin and them gave him the blueprint to fight the left hand and go the way of the left hand, not away from the left hand. Because if you go away from the left hand, now the hook gets to come around. But if I stay on top of the left hand, even if he throw it, he throwing it shorter now. It ain't going to have that much on it. So what y'all saw was a breakdown. And when I say a breakdown, it was almost like when me and my lady went to Value City. We brought a dining room table. Now that was back in the day. Value City was trash. You couldn't even put a glass of water on it. You was gonna leave a print on the table. And we wondered why the table ain't hold up long. Cause when you buy cheap, you get cheap results. But over the years, they evolve. Now you can get a table from Value City and last you a lifetime how you use it. because the nuts and the bolts are more secure and standard. Devin just got exposed, guys. Bottom freaking line. He hit a wall. His luck ran out. And like I said before, it wasn't Cambosis he was in front of. It wasn't JoJo Diaz he was in front of. It wasn't Cambosis he was in front of. It was all smoke, gun, and mirrors. And I gave him an opportunity, chance. But guys, I'm going to tell you this. This how fair I am. Because the first thing, oh, you hate Devin. No, I don't. No, I don't hate no Devin. But I need Devin to really show me who he really is in this comeback fight. So I'm going to ask Mr. Bernard, then I'm going to ask you next on this comeback, this major, this elite fighter, like Mr. Bernard say, elite fighter, how he going to bounce back? Go ahead, Mr. Bernard, I need to hear this.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think you're right what you said. I think Devin needs to figure out who Devin is personally. I think when he figures out who he is, it'll change the way he boxes. If you go back and look at Devin when he first turned pro, as he was maneuvering through, he's always tried to be what he think people like. And he used to give Tank grief about the way he dressed, or he used to say, you carry a pocketbook. But then we started seeing Devin getting tattoos, doing his hair different, and carrying the same stuff, wearing the same clothes Tank wear. So really, I think Devin is having an identity crisis. The minute he realizes who he is and embodies that, I think it may change the way that he goes about boxing. It may not. I will tell you this, no matter who has an opinion of if he's elite, if he's this, if he's that, the one thing I can say, if he ain't in the Hall of Fame, and that's everybody's choice of being, his father did definitely be in the Hall of Fame because he maneuvered him in such a way to where he got further than I think he would have gotten any other type of way. I think his father did a great job of maneuvering him through the landmines. He knew what his strengths and weaknesses were, and he guided him as far away from his weaknesses as he possibly could. If you look at the Linares fight, he got hit with the same punch he got hit by Devin. If you look at, to me, he didn't win the Lomachenko fight. I didn't think he won the Lomachenko fight. And the reason I say that is because when he went to his dad for instructions, I can't hit him. It was do your best. It was like he didn't even have a rebuttal for it. It was like just keep working. And if he figures out who he is, I think if he figures out who he is, he could bounce back and he could do some big things. Do I ever think that a fight with him and Tank would end in Devin winning? I'll never think that, because once again, they cut from two different positions. Tank is more or less on a seek and destroy. Devin is on a seek and get to the 12th round and he had a decision. I just don't see how he would beat him. But I do think that when you rate any fighter, taking it away from Devin, taking it away from Tank, certain criteria things will always put you in rarefied air. It's like a guy who wins every golf tournament, but he never wins the green jacket. That's an exclusive club that only a handful are in. And he would definitely love to know what it feel like. If you like Devin, hate Devin, like Tank, hate Tank, love Bud Crawford, hate Bud Crawford. When these guys do something, not win a title, when these guys become undisputed, that's like the top of the cake. That's the top of the cake. It's very few that get a chance to do it, especially in the 4-belt era. So when they do that, I have to say that they're elite. Do that make them elite in the sense of what they do against other elite people? No, but it does make them elite in the sense that only a handful of guys become undisputed. Bud Crawford. When you say Bud Crawford, he's in another level of elite air because he's 2-time undisputed. I mean, you gotta look. It's the same way I look at Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler ruled one division for years. He didn't have to go up a division down. He became the measuring stick at which you did that.
Mr. Bernard, I can see you trying to deflect me off of the prize. But guess what? It ain't going nowhere. I don't care which way you slice it. Devin Haney ain't no Sugar Ray Leonard when he lost to Roberto Duran and came back and made Roberto Duran quit in the middle of the ring a monster. That's elite to me. That's just my opinion. Now, elite to me would be if Devin come back and show me something and pick it up and show me something that he have not shown me and start smoking guys, outboxing them, because I know he ain't no knockout artist, but outbox these guys, school them, give me something to work off of. I will put him up there with the elite because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Now, accolade-wise, he was undisputed. But is he going to get the full credit who he got the belts from? Real boxing historians? That's my opinion. I don't think so. I don't think so, man. When he fought Rize's Progress, everybody was like, you heard him. You heard him, but didn't close the show out. We need something. Give us something. We begging. We're begging for it. It's not going to come. And you're 100% right that his father moved him on a chessboard very well. Very well. I cannot take that from him. But I'm going to get a mic to Aunt McQueen because it was one person out there, one of my favorite fighters of all times. And he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Sean Porter. Never duck nobody. That's what's going to get him in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Aunt McQueen?
I agree. The moment you said Sean Porter, it made me think of one of my favorite fighters, Shane Mosley. Some people might say Shane lost a lot of his big fights. Vernon Forrest, Winky Wright, Floyd, Canelo, so on and so forth. But he was successful in his own right. And like you mentioned with Sean Porter, he ain't turned down no smoke. And Sean Porter's the same way, like 2-time champion. And he fought everybody. But not only did he fight everybody, but he was fighting everybody when they were at their best. Like he fought Kell Brook when he was still undefeated. Fought Keith Thurman when he was still undefeated. Fought Errol Spence when he was still undefeated before the car crash. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia. Like, yo, this dude he had a phenomenal career, man. Phenomenal career. Win, lose, or draw. Like, you can't say anything bad about Sean Porter.
Not at all.
Not damn dog.
Oh, shit. When he gave him look at his name, Showtime Sean Porter. And every time Sean fought, I don't give a damn where I was. I had to be in front of TV. That's, to me, is an elite fighter. When Devin fights, I could watch it on the highlights later, or I see it. I'm not even impressed with watching it. But great show tonight. Sorry, everybody, if I couldn't answer everybody comments in the chat. Mr. Bernard driving. We want him to be safe. Aunt McQueen, the wizard, the architect, in his studio, always touching base. Great show to everybody out there. And I like to thank Noah Ash, aka Smash at the gym. Gave me a card. Everybody signed the card. Showed me some love. Hold on, Aunt. Yeah, everybody at the gym got me a card, signed it, showed me love that I always show in the gym. This mean more to me than anything. The love and respect that you give, you get back. You know what I'm saying? Money can't buy this. When I walked in the gym and he surprised me with this, it really touched me to let me know that the love and energy I give, people acknowledge it and give it back to me. That's going to be my legacy. And when it goes down into, if it was a Hall of Fame for loving, caring, giving, full of energy, I'm definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Pound for pound. I will be mentioned amongst the greats. Yes. And everybody saying, oh yeah, you gonna be in there. You put your own self. Closing arguments, Mr. Bernard.
Man, this one real short and simple, man. Much love to you and your family. You all are facing the loss, but as a boxing community and as a family, and you've always made me feel honored to come up to Baltimore and be on the Rize podcast. My family's love and sympathies are with you all. I think we need to close this one on a level of sympathy for you and not on boxing.
Appreciate that. Aunt McQueen.
Hey, same as always, Squeeze. Small things, all things. What's easy to do is also easy not to do.
Man, appreciate you guys, man. Like Mr. Bernard say, we gonna close it on that note, man. Ain't no need of me saying nothing else. I love everybody in the chat for dropping through. God bless y'all. If I couldn't read y'all comments, we'll be back at y'all Friday night. All shout out to all assets for setting up the panel and getting these elite boxing historians. Mr. Bernard, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer when it come to boxing historian. Aunt McQueen, he the youngin' of the bunch. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer when it comes to boxing. And my family in the chat, all of y'all are first ballot. For some of you come in with some buffoonery, I don't know about you guys. But in the words of the Rize podcast, peace and head grease. Be safe, Mr. Bernard.
Some say you forgive, but don't forget it. Now you know how we do. Lock that back door, don't let no one through. I told Nietzsche in these streets ain't no rules. He say, cause all this life we ain't put on with this. Yeah. And I understand that this shit wasn't easy, but nigga, we did it. Yeah, yeah. And all them hoes and all them niggas that wasn't fucking with us, then we them niggas. Now we rich now. We got money. I don't give a shit, no. And we did it. Young nigga come off for nothing, now he getting to them riches. And it's the life of a young rich nigga.